Alright, this video I want to share my thoughts on what I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about art and it being eternal, or it can be eternal, and I was thinking about death, and I was thinking about technology. You know, especially with the technology nowadays, with the internet, specifically more things like something like YouTube. I think YouTube in particular allows a lot of people to become artists and to share a part of their art. So before YouTube, it'd be something like Hollywood where you need permission from, you know, the executives of Hollywood to get into this in crowd to be able to produce and create and share to a large audience of people. And but now, with something like YouTube, it's allows more people to get involved, to share part of their art. And I was thinking about it like this, like, say, like, I passed away, like, say tomorrow, and there's it wouldn't really make that much of a difference if people are just interacting with me through videos. It wouldn't matter if I was dead or alive, basically. So another example is somebody like Bruce Lee passed away like in the 1970s. Well, I wasn't even born at that time. And then I'm born at 1981, and then I wasn't exposed to his teachings until like around the year of like 2000. So like 30 years later, his teachings reach out to me. 30 years after his death. So regardless if he's dead or alive, it didn't matter. What mattered was that his teachings, his art, became a part of my life at that time. And if you even look further back with somebody like Lao Tzu, who passed away like 2,000 years ago in China, and I'm living in America, but then his teachings somehow were able to reach out to me after like 2,000 years. It just shows how powerful like art can be, and how, in a way, to me, it almost transcends death. I understand if I died like tomorrow, the people that would be most affected are the people that see me from day to day. Like my wife, my children, my parents, my sister, and, my friends and my students. The people that I see day to day, they will be affected because they're no longer see me anymore. But the people that will not really be affected are like the people that interact with me through watching videos, because there's already so many videos out there that some people might not have discovered my videos until like recently. So then to them, I'm alive because they discovered who I am. But before discovering, my videos and who I am, they don't even know who I am. I don't even exist. It's pretty much like I'm dead. And that's kind of like what happened before, when people, when they booted me off of the YouTube and said that I could never come back, and they erased all my videos. That's pretty much like killing me, like digitally killing me, or killing the art that I had to share, and that's like a death, in that realm. That's like that's like Bruce Lee's teachings, like being burned before they're even produced. So that all his writings, they never got published. They just got burned away. That's pretty much like what could happen when art can be destroyed. So it's like even like a painter, could paint something like Van Gogh, and then the painting could live on, hundreds or thousands of years since he passed away, and different people could handle the painting. Some people could take pictures of the painting and then they could share it to people worldwide. People could come look at the painting directly. But if you burn the painting before it was even replicated by photography or anything like that, then the art will cease to survive. And I think with modern technology, with these digital hard drives and these photographs and these camcorders, and it's allowing art to kind of live on, where people are sharing their spirits and their hearts and their truth almost eternally, because we're like keeping it alive, especially with something like YouTube. Because without YouTube, somebody like Tupac, there's gonna be some people that might have his CDs, and then you'd have to borrow the CD from the individual to listen to it. But now YouTube and like the internet allows us to share, videos and music just from people all over the world. Somebody from China or another country could share with us a part of their expression through the internet. Like, you don't need to travel to China to listen to somebody's music or watch them perform some movements, whatever the case may be. It's like the modern technology, it's like keeping so many spirits alive. Because if you look at on YouTube, for example, if you want, you could listen to music from Elvis, even after he's passed away. You could listen to music from Prince, you could listen to music from Tupac, you could listen to music from, Notorious Big. You could see speeches from Malcolm X. You could see speeches from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You could see speeches from Gandhi, from Osho to J. Krishnamurti. You could see interviews with Bruce Lee. I mean, you could see all these creations from people that's passed away, and what does it matter if they're alive or they're dead anymore, as long as you are exposed to that creation, then that's all that really matters. Like, even right now, somebody like Jet Li, he's an inspiration, he's a role model to me, but I never met him, he doesn't know who I am. But what does it matter if he's dead or alive right now? It doesn't matter. I could always watch his movies and be inspired by his movies. I could watch his interviews and be inspired by his interviews. It doesn't matter if he's dead or alive right now. So somebody like Jet Li could be alive right now, and then he could decide, you know what, I'm going to retire and I'm never going to star in any more movies. That right there almost becomes like a death to my eyes, because now I'll no longer be able to see further creations from this person. So when an artist decides to no longer create, it's almost like the death right there. He might be living physically, but his art, he has stopped it. He has pretty much halted his art and died at that moment from an artistic standpoint. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, when you're talking about an artist that no longer creates, no longer produces, then it's like an early death. Some artists, before they die, they might create 10 albums. Some artists, before they die, they might just create one album. Some artists, actors just star in one movie. Some star in 20 movies, and some star in 30. It's just like, when we create, we're sharing, and this sharing, because of technology, could potentially be eternal. you know, and that is something that's very interesting to me, you know, like it gives greater purpose in what you do, you know, like somebody like Vincent van Gogh didn't really receive much appreciation for, or he didn't receive any appreciation for his art when he was living. But after he passed away, then a lot of people started to appreciate his art, and his paintings are seen as masterpieces to this day, and so many people admire his work. And as an artist, you know, you can't be confined into, you know, just seeing that, hey, you know, I should stop creating because nobody likes my stuff. You know, you should be able to see the larger, the bigger picture, and how when art is eternal, then as long as you create, you know, there's gonna be a time where people will appreciate your work. I mean, even Donnie Yen, I saw him in a recent interview. He was talking about something, and then he said something like it took him like 20 years before people started even noticing who he was. He had to act for like 20 years before he became popular. 20 years is a long time, you know, to wait. You have to be very patient, and then by this time, he's already pretty old. You can see gray hairs and everything, but at least he was able to experience and feel appreciation during his lifetime. With someone like Bruce Lee, you know, he only felt appreciation from people in Hong Kong, but not from people in America. And then he passed away, and then finally he gets respect and appreciation from people in America, but that's only after his death. You know, and that happens quite often. When people are living, they don't really get much appreciation, but after they pass away, then people start appreciating their work more. You know, so I think that every single artist, you know, should always keep that in mind, that a lot of times when you create, you know, you're not going to get the appreciation that you might deserve. But if your art is eternal, then you gotta see it from the bigger picture. Like, you gotta see it from the standpoint of someone like Bruce Lee, who passed away like in 1970, and in the year of like 2000 is when his teachings were able to reach out to me and influence and inspire me like 30 years later. You know, and that's very powerful. You know, or somebody like Lao Tzu, you know, 2,000 years later, his teachings are able to connect with me, from somebody from a whole, you know, different country and everything. You know, so we gotta look at it from the bigger picture when we create, and not be so concerned about others appreciating what we create at this current moment. You know, I think that just gives a greater greater purpose to an artist in what he does, you know, and to maintain his motivation in creating and sharing.